Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Do you know what though? I got a letter just like that.
Yeah, sure you did.
So did I.
What would George Michael be writing to a man for?
This is Duke Nukem. If you're looking for a douchebag to save the day, then try Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. All right, now where are the babes?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I had the dubious pleasure of watching Sonic the Hedgehog 2 today at my local Cineworld in a super screen, a Sonic super screen, with me and probably 3 other people who were shoved in the background, just the way, I like it, So what did I think of this sequel to the 2020 film that was released before lockdown went into full effect? I gotta say this much. This I felt was quite a bloated sequel. It says so in the headline of my thumbnail. The first film is great. It's 1 hour and 39 minutes and it just whizzes by just like that. Obviously that film was made with some good faith for the fans because we all saw that horrific trailer where Richard Simmons was dressed up as Sonic. So this film, also the best thing about it is Jim Carrey, and I don't know if it's true that this is going to be his last role. If it is, wow, he's going out with a bang, that is for sure. And of course, as many people will say who are not like big followers of the character Sonic or play the games, I've played some of the games, not many, so I'm definitely not versed on Sonic lore. I know who Tails is, I know who Knuckles is, obviously I know who Robotnik is, so Carrey is the perfect choice to play the leading role. And I tell you what, even though James Marsden is like the lead character actor in this film and Ben Schwartz, really it should be Jim Carrey because the guy outshines everybody in this film. Now I'll say the one thing about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it does come with a couple of red flags, and I saw one of these red flags in the first film, but I kind of let it pass me by because I thought, okay, whatever. Now you know we're in 2022 folks and beyond. And you know Hollywood has certain boxes they have to check now before they go ahead and make a film. And the thing with this movie, you can kind of see it in there and it doesn't usually get in the way, and I'm fine with that. But there's this whole scenario where Tom Wachowski's sister-in-law, the slightly insufferable Natasha Rothwell, who plays Rachel, is getting married. Now, this whole marriage is a little bit weird because I don't even buy into the chemistry between her and her fiancé, played by Shima Moore. Who calls their male son Shima? It's just a way. I'm sorry, if that was me bestowed with that title, I'll be going straight to deep hole, bitches. You're gonna change my name to Ragnarok or something a bit more masculine. Shima. Now, Shima Moore, which sounds a bit like Simu Liu if you put the two together or had a few drinks, glug, 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 glug. He has the worst goatee I've ever seen. I mean, it looks like somebody took a perma marker and just drew under his chin and above his lips, and that's it. It's honestly one of the worst things I've seen. Now, Shima, a bit of a gym shark, because he rips off his clothes. We get to see his very taut, shapely torso, along with these 5 bros who do the same thing. So it's really quite funny, isn't it? All the men are happy to be objectified by the female viewers, who obviously will not have any complaints. James Marsden thankfully keeps his t-shirt on because he doesn't need to do any of that. But again, where was the eye candy for the men? Where I needed a bit of female eye candy. We had that in the first Sonic where they go to that bar and you see that very cute waitress that's quite stunned by Sonic's antics. I liked her. Do we get anything in the sequel like that? No. What this sequel reminds me of is that I absolutely hate going to weddings. And this wedding is borderline insufferable. It really is. Because we had this breakaway moment where Rachel, Natasha Rothwell, is talking to Shima and they're just having this back and forth and it's really cringy. And again, we're talking 2022 folks, and they decide to make Natasha Rothwell the screaming harpy of a black woman on screen. Like, we've seen that in so many Ice Cube comedies, in so many other films. It's not befitting for this narrative, folks. It doesn't make any sense. I will say on the one hand, like, yeah, they have this moment where it's all like, do you really love me, honey? Do you love me? Yeah, I love you, baby. God, that kiss was like, oh God, I almost choked myself out there. It was that cringe. Now, I will say the purpose and point of that scene is to educate the family that being in love the straight way, I am just saying, that's my observation, that's what it looks like to me, is what they're endorsing. The Christian values, the Christian point of view. That's all I'm saying. That's what I noticed, and it kind of stuck in my mind. And I will say the other thing that did kind of irk me a little bit. Now, you know Knuckles, this big red dude played by Idris Elba, a fine actor, by the way. There's a line towards the end of the film where Tika Sumpter, who plays James Marsden's wife, she says, "Oh, I like Sonic's new friends, especially that red one. He's really funny." A little bit of a virtue signal there. It's just a tiny bit because, you know, she's black. Idris Elba's black, and she had to say that. I don't know why they had to say that. And look, Idris is fine as Knuckles. He's pretty good. He kind of delivers the comedic lines with aplomb, and he's a pretty engaging character. You can sometimes tell it's him, sometimes you can't, and that's fine. I will say the height. Now, this film is definitely too long at 2 hours. It needed to be like the original movie, 1 hour and 39 minutes. I know they've got more to play with. They want to bring back more of the same characters you saw in the first film. That's all great. But for me, like the whole wedding part, it meanders. We don't need it. And in fact, this film needed less human interaction. The best moments are James Marsden with Sonic by themselves. I liked all of that. Again, Sonic does this thing we've seen so many times where you're this budding superhero in the making, but you turn around and you say, "But you're not my father." It's like, oh, come on, man. Well, why do we have to berate father figures or father-like figures in entertainment? Why? What does Hollywood have against dad? Can somebody tell me below, please? But I will say the highlights of the movie, definitely that third act is incredible. It's really, really good. If I end up owning this film on Blu-ray, I can fast forward the wedding shenanigans because they're absolute god-awful. But that third act, where you literally see Robotnik become a robot, it is awesome. But even better about that scene, they use Walk by Pantera. And I've got to say, the funniest line in the whole film is when Robotnik is about to kill someone. He says, "You're about as useful as a backstage pass to a Limp Bizkit concert." Fred Durst, we never forgive, we never forget. Now, apart from Pantera, the film actually has some good songs, notably Norah Jones. "Don't know why I didn't come." Honestly, those lyrics sounded so sweet and innocent back in 2002, but when you sit back and listen, Norah Jones, what were you actually talking about, love? I think it's time for a quick geographical lesson. Siberia, where is that in the world? Oh shit. Why do I bring that up? Because part of the film is obviously not filmed there, but a bar that Sonic and Tails walk into is occupied by Russian people. You hear the Russian music, you hear the Russian language. Now, this might hurt the film a little bit. It may do, because obviously of what's going on in the world at the moment in Ukraine. And I sat there thinking, oh shit, why has this happened? Now, Jeff Fowler cannot be blamed for that, because when they made this a year ago, nobody thought this would ever happen in 2022, where Russia tries to invade Ukraine. And I just sat there thinking, oh boy, this is... So I don't know if there's any discourse online about this at the moment, whether anybody's brought it up, but I thought I might talk about it here because it was a little bit... I don't know what to say. It was just bad timing. That's all I have to say. So folks, if you enjoyed my Supersonic Afterthoughts video for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, make sure you get these two fingers, stick them in your eyes, and then stick them on the subscribe button, maybe even hit the like button. And if I were you, I would check me out on my next video.
Ventura.
Yes, Satan? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You sounded like someone else.